Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Beyond the Battle Pain, Pageants, and Perspective, where we aim to bring you uplifting stories that remind you that you are not doing your daily struggles alone. On today's episode, we will meet with James Burse, a Purple Heart recipient, a three-time combat veteran, and so much more. He will be here to talk to us about his time in his service, why he joined the military, and what great things he's doing now. So, if you will take the time to welcome to the stage James Burse. Hey, Battle, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you for asking. Thank you for being on the show with us today. I
Yeah.
know that you are in preparation for yet another hurricane, so we want
Uh,
to be mindful of your time.
Here we go again.
Right. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you got started.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. I'm from Ware County, Waycross, Georgia. Go Dogs! You see it up there. You know what I mean. So, um, you know, my childhood was good. Had like it was it was real good. I can't complain.
Good.
Loving father, loving mother, loving siblings. You know what I mean. They was a lot older than me and kind of grew up by myself, but they was always there. And after September 11th, I caught myself being really interested in seeing those guys on CNN. Invading Iraq. Caught myself going home and turning on the TV late at night and watching CNN with no volume, so I wouldn't get caught by my parents. So I don't know if that played a role in finally getting to the time where I graduated high school, and I was kind of too small to really play football at that time. And I call him my brother, Derek Williams, man, my dog, man. He said I'm going to the military. And I was like, cool, I'm going too. So like 2 weeks after I graduated, first I tried the Air Force. I ain't gonna lie, I tried the Air Force. They told me it was gonna take like a year or two to get me in basic training.
Wow.
I'm from a small town. Like
Okay.
I didn't want to stick around trouble. Just it wasn't nothing there. So within 2 weeks after I graduated, I went to the military, and then
Okay.
I got tricked with my job. You know what
You,
I mean?
you got tricked.
Yeah, of course. They showed me the video stuff getting blown up, and I was hooked. You know what I mean? I was a hook line sinker, man. They knew what to show me. And as soon as I saw explosion, dude looked at me. He was like, "How would you like to blow stuff up?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's go." So, yeah, went in as a 21 Bravo. With the war picking up, my job switched from a support role to combat 12 Bravo. So, combat engineer. And then next thing you know, I went to Fort Carson and got deployed. And um, we was the first unit since the Civil War to switch battlefronts. So we went from Iraq to Afghanistan in my first deployment. And that's kind of when I got my first Purple Heart. When I got blown up, I got hit with an ID. And then I struggled with walking, had to kind of learn how that went again. And then they had automatic turrets. So I was able to still be a gunner, even with the loss strength of my legs at the time.
Mhm.
We lost a lot of people. Um, Switching from Iraq to Afghanistan um, was a strategically wasn't a good choice, I would say. Going back looking at it, because before that we we got ready for Iraq. We went to NTC. We prepared for Iraq. Our vehicles were for Iraq. When we first started in Afghanistan, we was using Iraq vehicles, and a lot of people paid the price for that. It wasn't till like the end of our deployment where we started getting like the uplifted, the MRAP, the V-shaped holes. And we took a lot of fire. We got in a lot of firefights. It was the Wild West out there, so we lost a lot of people It was hard. Um, and then when we got back, it was a snowball effect for me. Went to what SRP site. That's where you go when you get back. Yeah, the SRP site, and talked to the wizard and told the wizard nothing was wrong with me. Didn't want to look weak. Didn't want to embarrass nobody. Opportunity was strong, so I just wanted to stay strong like everybody else. But went through a lot after that. Drinking, boozing, partying. Went to Korea, partying, got demoted.
Mm.
Drinking too much. And then I went from there. I caught a unit in Fort Hood and then deployed from Fort Hood 2 weeks after I landed in Fort Hood. So some way, somehow, I didn't have leave time when I left Korea. So I immediately went back. And the wild thing about that deployment was it was a unit going to the exact same place where I lost all my friends. I went back to the exact same place that I deployed to the first time. So
My goodness.
that unit, it was cool. Oh, he knows what he's doing. Put him in the first truck. To me, it was a mental warfare. That whole year I was there, it was flashbacks in and out of then and now,
Right.
sometimes being a little too precautious because at that time when I went back the second time, it wasn't the same. The war shifted to another place. It wasn't as hot, but from what I knew, it was a very dangerous place to be.
Mhm.
So went back to Korea, got medically, went back to Texas, um, ended up doing pretty bad where they had to medically discharge me.
Oh, wow.
Suicide. It finally caught up to me. At the time, I had went through a divorce. My mom had breast cancer,
Oh,
so
my.
and after keeping that stuff back for so many years, it finally got to me where I just couldn't I couldn't hide it anymore. I
Mhm.
couldn't hide the damage. I was very unhealthy life. The army did the right thing to separate me honorably um, at the
Now,
time.
when you say that you came back from, because we deployed, if you remember, we deployed the first time as a battalion.
Fourth
I
engineers, you know what we went through at 569. You know what's up.
Yeah, I was with 62nd at the time. I was a little bitty squirt,
Yeah,
um, but out there trying to make things happen in medic land for our dude.
I mean
Glad.
we got messed up. All right, to Afghanistan, it was messed up. It was a
It was
harsh decision, and man, it was. I can't describe it, man. We shouldn't have done a lot of the stuff that we did, and
right.
we lose brothers from Fourth Engineers almost yearly at this point. It's 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 sad, that when you finally catch up to somebody and you ask about somebody else,
You
they say they
find out.
killed themselves. You know what I mean? Suicide, and it's like, dang, dog, like not just losing so many down there, we're losing so many back here
on the
very quick.
on the opposite end. And do you think that the invisible wounds of war are sticking with so many of the engineers during that time period, just because there was a lot of freedom, right? I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of drug testing. We were in the throes of war. Like you said, we jumped from one theater of operation to another, and that hadn't been done since the previous World War. So there weren't a whole lot of checks and balances. You think that had we had more checks and balances, that some of the addiction problems, some of the mental health problems could have been reduced?
Well, this is just my opinion. Don't. I don't know your viewers. I don't want to get you know canceled, but uh,
That's not what we're
my
trying to do.
my opinion is that it was so. The old me would have said we did that because somebody wanted to get promoted. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? Somebody, you know how that goes.
Right.
A man takes a unit, they get promoted. Cool. Uh, there's a reason why that's not done. You know what I mean? There's a reason why that's not done because you're just not logistically ready for going from the sand to the mountains. Or it was so different. It was so new when we got there. We did the left seat, right seat with the unit that we replaced. It was
Mhm.
so it was so different because you didn't have to worry about something under you. You know what I
Right.
mean? You already you worried about what was on the side of the road, and they had IEDs in Iraq, but you weren't worried about them stuffing pounds and pounds and pounds of explosives under the road for months, and next thing you know, a buffalo flips in the air and everybody in there is gone. You know what I mean? You wasn't ready for that, or the
Very
firefight, man. So it was wild. They were active out there. You know what I mean? So it was man, just following orders. You know what I mean? Just following orders. That's all we could did. You know what I'm saying? So um,
So you took the opportunity and you said that you thought that the Army had made the right decision by discharging you. When you discharged during that time, you went through the soldier for life? Did you feel like the support system that you had at the time was enough? So you
no,
agreed that yes, that was a great idea for them to discharge you, but the support system, how was that?
it was horrible. Just not enough being done. There's a lot of talks. It sounds good when you get out with the programs to help you find a job, and
Right.
the VA is going to take care of you when you get out if something doesn't go right there, or you're hoping that the guy that's helping you get out is doing what he's supposed to make sure you get what you deserve. You know what I mean? Like, uh, I got out with 50%. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Purple Heart veteran. Uh, Not going to say 100% of Purple Heart veterans, but 90% of those guys, 95, I have to say 98% of those guys, they get what they deserve. So um, I fell through the cracks. And I was told by my guy that the VA would take care of me. He was like, oh, don't worry about it. If it doesn't shake up now, you got a Purple Heart. It'd be easy for you when you get out. You just show them the medal and you'll be good.
Oh.
So um, the military put me out because I had a problem
Mhm.
um, with drinking and boozing, drugs. You know what I mean? So um, I was lucky enough to get an honorable discharge. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for people looking out for me, um, you know, seeing what I've been through, seeing what I offered, no matter how hard it was, I still came to work. I still did my job. One of the most decorated guys at that time when I was a specialist. I was in the honor guard. My resume speaks for itself. I had over 189 days of leave saved up. So
Mhm.
somewhere in the mix of me going to and from country, I stacked a lot of leave days. So that meant I never went home.
Right.
It was back to back to back for me, and that wasn't the rule. Past 90 days of leave, you're supposed to automatically be made to go on leave. That didn't work
Right.
for me. I slipped under, and with me being who I was, I didn't care. I just wanted to go to war. I didn't want to be in the States. I had a mindset of just war. I was upset when I was in Fort Hood for so long. I was like, who's deploying? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Um, just so I can stay busy and hide from the demons. It was too much downtime for me, and it was hard to fight them. So,
What were
when I
you what
got
would
out,
you say what would you
okay.
say was your overcoming moment, like when you what was the final straw where you said, you know what, this lifestyle isn't working for me anymore. I need to get help.
Well, it wasn't. Man, I even went homeless in Miami. That wasn't enough. It wasn't till I got remarried and we was at the tip of getting a divorce. And at that time, I had finally realized it's me. It was me, man. Like you're wilding. Like um, I went and bought a Hellcat. You know what I mean? I started street racing. I started,
Oh
you know what I
my,
mean? I started living life, on the edge. You know what I mean? Just the adrenaline
taking
junkie.
all the
Just
risks.
um, and just thanking the Lord I made it home every night. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, and then a guy, an older veteran, saw me. He had a Hellcat. We was at the red light, and he looked at me. He said something. He said a simple question. He was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I looked at him, and before I'm usually able to rattle off, yeah, I'm good. I was told him, no, I'm not okay. Straight up, I just told this random guy, um, no, I'm not okay. And then he told me about Operation Barnabas, and that's when the hurricane hit um, down there at Fort Myers area,
Okay.
and that's when I went and volunteered with Operation Barnabas for 4 months down there, doing hurricane service, hurricane cleanup, um, doing the bare minimum work for the least amount of pay down there just to get some work in so we can eat or make it seem good enough for us to be away from our families. You know what I mean? People without insurance, giving them a darn good deal. Knocking down houses for like $2,000. You know what I mean? Like doing
Right.
jobs that people are like, oh man, that's a 12K job, man. Hey man, if it feels on your heart, man, just donate. If it doesn't, man, God bless. You know what I mean? Just straight
Right.
stuff like that. So um that really changed me. Um that really allowed me to be see what Barnabas was about. Barnabas was started by uh a sniper from the Marines and a
Mhm.
local pastor.
Okay.
Um and that Marine had his buddies come kick down his door and told him, if you don't get help, we're just gonna beat you up and make you get help.
Oh.
And
Okay.
that's how Operation Barnabas kind of started. He went and get help, led him to a church to met John. John said, the next guy that walked through that door, I'm gonna mentor. And it was him. So OC Fagan started something that end up coming towards me, and then those guys kind of like poured into me, and I found a sense of purpose. And then I hooked up with a football team, started by Nolan Carroll, Jennifer Carroll, the former lieutenant governor of Florida. Her son from the NFL started a JUCO college Christian football team where kids
Wow.
can get a second chance to try to make it to the league. So I go out there and I provide some sense of love and some character, and some military workouts here and there, but just showing those kids, that we care and we love you, and try to provide them some food when we get access food donated, help those kids out. So that kind of spurred me to diving all the way into Barnabas. And that's how I started doing my VA again, and I finally got my 100% like 2 months ago. And then
Good.
not 2 months ago, uh a year ago, yeah, a year ago I got my 100%. So it was from
Mhm.
2015 from 2023. So that's a grit,
Yeah.
fight VA, you know what I mean? And man, it's whoo,
Much
that
needed.
fight, that fight will keep you in the mud because you be so angry with them people, you know what I'm saying? So boy, you be ready to throw down, man. I'm telling you, I don't say some
VA
crazy
has
stuff
its
about me locked
challenges,
up. Huh?
right? I said VA definitely has its challenges.
Man. So
So now it looks like, we never know where the United States is going to go and what our services are going to be doing. And it looks like we are again sending troops all around the world, which is for our country, it's nothing new. But for these, like I have a 17-year-old who right now that's what he's looking at. He's looking at military service as his career option. And who am I to tell him no? The littlest person on the battlefield running from end to end, right? um, and so, what advice, as far as building and maintaining resiliency, what advice would you give to those that are looking at going into the military in at this time right now, based on what you've learned and what you've experienced?
that's a crazy question. So another thing that spurred me to go to is Liberty University.
Okay.
I'm going to school right now for my degree. So one day, hopefully, a doctorate in psychology / military resilience. So
Yeah.
I've also been in school too, man. The basics of what I'm learning, and just to be real, it starts very early for a child to have that type of resiliency, and that comes from home.
Right.
um, and that comes from father figures, mother figures. If you don't have a father figure, you know what I mean, you can go find plenty out there, and that's the cool thing about like Barnabas. We're trying to put these veterans back to work. You know what I mean? Like you see me out there doing hurricane relief. We just delivered 35,000 pounds of water to Douglas, Georgia, and that surrounding area. And we're just putting people back together. Same thing with females. If you don't have a motherly figure, that's all that is very important in the development of a child. And faith does not hurt. um,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people are church hurt, a lot of people are faith hurt, and
Right.
some people don't do it right or whatever. But faith is very important. My mom always used to say Psalms 91 whenever I got the chance to call her.
Right.
We always had the chaplain pray for us every time we left that gate. It didn't matter if it was a 4 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning mission. We was going to get the chaplain. Hey, bro, come on, do your thing. You know what I mean? So, faith, you know what I mean? We're one of the only organization that's faith-based, that's fighting, what I'm saying, veteran suicide at any cost. Once you go to operationbarnabas.com, you'll see where you can fill out a crisis application. We'll try to get you in the system. And for right now, we're just in Florida, but we're reaching out. We got connections up in Brunswick, and then I'm down here in Orlando.
Okay.
With all that being said, I had ended up getting blessed with a mortgage-free house from Building Homes for Heroes. So I got nice joint, nice joint. So God, I have to
Congratulations.
say God is good. I can't come on here and not say it. God is good. I'm uniquely in a position that I thank him from all the struggles that I've been through, because when I go talk to veterans, ain't too much you can't tell me, ain't too much you can't say that I don't know what you've been through. There's
Right.
a few things I haven't been through, but I've been through a lot, and I'm able to take what you got to say as a veteran and your military experience, and hopefully you can ask me this question in a couple of years and I have a definitive answer for you. But for right now, I'm not an expert. I do my best. I try to get in the mud. One-on-one mentoring is great. That's one of the things that we're using when it comes to trying to help veterans who are, doesn't have that resilience and is struggling. We try to get them, sign them a battle buddy,
Right.
that, kind of like a life coach, that can make sure they got everything squared away as far as jobs, food, clothing. Um, we put veterans in apartments. We try to, if we can, we try to help them with first and last month security deposit. We try to, bridge that gap. We're a nonprofit. We're not rich by any means, but we do the best we can. And God is good, man. We'll get random stuff, donations, and we try to, do something weekly for a veteran, cars, jobs, putting them on a field trip with me and going in the middle of Georgia somewhere, and we're cutting trees and giving out water and walking in some random neighborhood, you know what I mean? Making sure nobody's looting. Like, I'm up to a lot right now. So it's um I look back all what I've been through, and I thank God, because that allows me to help and reach a lot of veterans. And I always strive to uh treat people how I would want to be treated. I always try to look out. Um, all my friends around me are eating. You feel me? Like I just got my other Purple Heart friend. He's an engineer. I just got in my house. You know what I'm saying? I don't,
Good.
I don't, I don't take kindly to people around me struggling too well. You know what I mean? I know I may be a psychological problem where, I'm trying to fix the world. I'm trying to pay back the world for the bad things I've done. But I'm kind of using that as motivation at this point in my life. Like, okay, if that's how I feel, then be better, be richer, do better, figure it out, and make everybody around you happy so you can go complete that mission. You know what I mean? So that's
Right.
just the type of objective I got going on right now.
Good. I love it. I love hearing it. And I'm so, you have no idea. Like when I talk about the engineers, to, my
Red Castle.
civilian friends when I was at different duty stations, and people would always ask me, how was it being with the engineers? I can always say, although I was one of a few females, I loved my dudes. Like, I loved being with the engineers. I learned so much. At first, I thought I was punished coming from being a flight medic to being with combat engineers. I was like, they do what? You want me to be 411 and not 911? Like, what do they need? Like, what are we really doing here?
Yeah, get in
But
the truck just in case.
right, right. I remember um, there was an NCO, and he used to always tell me, remember what it means to be a sapper. And I say, well, I don't know what it means to be a sapper. Like, I'm new here. Tell me what it means, because all I see is you being mean to me. Um, that's
It's a lot of pride. There's a lot of pride. It kind of made me who I am today, man. I'm Red Castle, Snowman, you know.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and I wasn't ashamed to not let them take my ruck. The one thing that I can say is the engineers always tried to take care of me, but I would tell them, I pack that ruck, I'll carry it. I pack that water, it's mine. I'm gonna do this. I might have been the
And that's one
smallest.
thing about it, man. Like I met this random engineer, my homeboy Coop, that I just got him a free house, and we just clicked immediately because we knew what each other been through. Like, oh yeah, dog, you have to go find him IEDs. Yeah. Um, yeah, you're crazy. What's up? We should do well together. so,
So what's next for you? I mean, so right now you're in school at Liberty, and you said you want to be on track to do military behavioral health as far as career wise. So how close are you to graduation? What does that timeline look like for you?
shoot, I just got in school, so I got like a nice little 4 years for the bachelor's, and go back to the other program, VRNE program, and tell
Mhm.
them that I would like to go for my doctors and get another 4 years out of the military and be able to give back. Hopefully, I'm in a position well enough to where I can provide that service for free or for little to nothing, man. Like I really could be making a lot of money just working normally, but my heart is here because I can't take another homie. I can't. It breaks my heart. I get emotional, but it's not right that we fight so hard, and you hear all the support. You see the NFL, you see these NBA, they flying our colors, they flying our flag. Uh, all these supporters, all these people, all these other nonprofits and stuff. And you see all that money, and then you realize it really doesn't cost a lot to help a guy. It really doesn't cost a lot to help with first to last month rent and put a guy off the street. It really doesn't help a lot to give somebody gas for a month so they can make it to and from work and get their check started. That's not a lot. And
Well,
um, it's not a lot to provide tiny homes and container homes. And it's not a lot. And it's not fair. It's not right that we have to struggle so much for getting veterans help when you see money spent in billions somewhere else or doing something else, or then you catch uh politicians playing with money and they're getting hit on the wrist for millions of dollars, and it's just not right when we hear all this talk about, oh, you guys fought freedom, America wouldn't be this without you guys. Well, start being for real, start doing it. Like, um it's this foreign math that the VA has to give you your benefits, like, cut it out. Do some research, get it right. Stop feeding us medications and pills. Figure something else out. Like, the side effects of that stuff ain't good either. At this point, you're gonna you're gonna hurt yourself for prolonged periods of time of taking all that medication. So what are you really doing for us? You trying to kill us off? And I don't like to think that way, but you know that medication. I've had plenty of friends hurt themselves on the medication. I have plenty of friends hurt themselves off the medication. So what's the answer? Well, I can tell you, one-on-one mentoring. I haven't lost any of the new friends I've connected with, and not saying it's perfect, not saying it ain't gonna happen, but if one of us don't hear from you, or we check in, and it's like being back in the military, the hooch, with the boys and the
Yeah.
girls, just like being back together. I love Operation Barnabas, and I want to spread that throughout the United States.
Good.
I want to be in every vet pod, every jail. I want to be at every football game. I want a section of the stadium designated for just military, and it's free because they can afford it. Don't tell me you can't. Don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I want actual action, and we're not getting action. And I won't stop till we get action. Um, I won't stop. You know what I mean? I won't stop going to these council meetings in cities. I won't stop till somebody sponsor putting veterans back together for a free package weekend somewhere in the mountains or on the Keys, or putting people back together so we can check up on each other, man. Because um, unfortunately, we get out here and isolate.
We
And
do.
if you're like me, I done changed my name on social like 9, 10 times, so it's gonna be hard to really keep up with me for real. So
Yeah.
it's hard, man. I wonder about a lot of people, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in the engineer battalion that you know haven't been able to find, haven't heard from in years. And you don't want to for the engineers, hey guys, hit me up. You see your boy out there at Jody James Burse, find me, man. I just want to make sure all my guys are good, because if you deploy with us, you deserve what you deserve. And I won't stop to nothing until I try to find everybody and put everybody together, man. Like,
There are many of them that are on my timeline. So, fourth engineers, if you are watching, make sure
yeah,
to reach out, and I will make sure to put you in contact with James with OperationBarnabas.com.
I want a reunion, man. I want to see everybody again, man. Like, not on some party stuff, but genuinely, because what we've been through, it was hard. And um, you don't have to go through it alone. I still struggle. Uh, I do the best I can. Um, but I still have my days. I still have my times. You know what I mean? And right now we have a group chat on the phone that's, I think we have like 11 guys, from 569, Death Saints, you know what it is. And I think we got Saban in there. I don't know if you remember Saban. Saban's in there. So we're right now trying to plan a trip to, put up, every month, and then we afford something, and we're gonna go somewhere. You know what I mean? I think that's really important, camaraderie.
It
and
is.
and
It's not
putting
just because we're in different units or different stages in our life, that camaraderie is still there. And
is
we're
is
still family.
very important. And I feel like if the new leaders today, because we have a problem, we still have like over 120,000 suicides
Oh, yeah,
after the war.
that's right.
Uh, they say um, a lot can be helped if the leaders actually know their soldiers, right? So, think about actually knowing your soldier, actually knowing, okay, he can't afford food, he's bad with his money, his girl, his life. Like, when you know your soldier, he won't even have to say nothing to you. You're gonna look at him and be like, hey, something off. And hopefully y'all have that type of relationship that he's gonna be able to tell you, hey, this is what's wrong, without being in fear or scared of saying something, so you look at him different. A
Right,
lot of times that was the problem. You'll have something going on in life, and you're scared to say something because you don't want nobody to look at you different or treat you any different.
right,
The military can be a lot like college, a lot like high school in weird ways. You know what I mean? Like, there's cliques, and there's people who still get made fun of, and you know, um, people get bullied in the military. You know what I mean? Sexual assault, like it's crazy what goes on the military. And when you hear some of these people's stories, you're like, why didn't nobody care enough to even talk to you? You know what I mean? So we're really just trying to find a way, because it's not cool to keep losing so many soldiers when they have so much to offer. Like, people like, oh, we need more good role models in life. Well, that veteran that's in that house, that's by himself, that's spiraling, that doesn't want to come out of his room, that doesn't feel needed. Well, let's put him back to work. Let's get him healed. Let's get him right. Let's get him out here in the public. There's your new school teacher. There's your new senator, your new
Yep,
coach. You know what I mean? They're here. They're there. So just trying to heal those guys and girls and put them back to work.
I hear it. I'm about it. I am adding you to my list of resources. So from time to time, you'll see there will be a post, and it'll just have resources out there that are specific to veterans. And so we're going to add Operation Barnabas to that. Make sure that people understand what you guys have to offer. Do you have so as we come to a close and we look at all the things that we've talked about, the challenges that you've overcome and what you're doing now, I want to say I am so grateful that you are still with us. I am so grateful for your service to our country and what you continue to do in our communities because it is very important.
Chill out. Chill out.
Veterans.
Chill out.
We know, we know that there are strength in numbers, and what you continue to do for and bring us all back together is a pretty amazing thing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you have any closing words you want to share with any of our listeners before we go?
Hey, shout out to you and what you're doing out here too. You're killing the game. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're gonna get there. I can't wait to see you at Miss Universe one day. Be like, hey, I was on her podcast, so let's go. Just watch out for Operation Barnabas in your area. We have a lot of veterans in need in that area, and people in the county. People that like to help veteran out. Call that number on operationbarnabas.com. I hold the phone. It's gonna be me answering it. I try to answer it at any time, any night. Give me a call. I don't sleep well, but I sleep okay. So it makes me, I'm good enough to be up for this phone, and I'll call you back. I try my best. I'm only one guy, but we try our best and be a one-stop shop for veterans. Just in any way, any means necessary. If we have to spend our own money, a lot of times we'll put people up in hotels. We just try to, be there. You know what I'm saying? Because if you pass basic training, you got some type of discipline in your body, and let's put that to use constructively. So,
thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you. We will follow back up with you. Probably, I'm going to take a week off because I compete here soon. But we will have you back on the show to see where you're at, where you guys have expanded to, and what's next.
Check me out, man. I'm about to start spreading my webs in Orlando as soon as this storm is over. So we're getting ready to batten down the hatches, see what's up. And I may be out here doing, disaster relief in Tampa or even in Orlando. So, just pray for us out here. And can't wait till November when the season's over for sure. So
thank you again.
Thank you.
Well, friends, that was James Burse, former Army combat engineer and friend with Operation Barnabas. He and his team are out there providing disaster and hurricane relief for those who are in need, and also a shoulder for those veterans that are in need. Please do not hesitate to reach out to Operation Barnabas and find out how they can help you. Better yet, if you are also healing through service, find out how you can support them in their mission and all that they do. Again, thank you for being with us tonight on Beyond the Battle, Pain, Pageants, and Perspective, as we talked with former Army engineer James Burse, who talked to us about overcoming challenges of addiction and loss through deployment and what it looked like to rebuild his life and continue to give back into the community. We thank him for all he does, and we thank him for the Operation Barnabas, and all that they do for those around us. Remember that you are not alone, and that your battle is not, you can have help too. Don't forget it. Never, 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 you are never alone. Until next time on Beyond the Battle, Pain, Pageants, and Perspectives, where we will bring you another story of overcoming challenges, love, and perspective. See you next time. Ciao.